I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. Down wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And whoo! Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo!
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC 297. We have Sean Strickland going against Dricus du Plessis. We have a 12-fight card. Cannot wait to break it down. I am here with a full panel. We got a full house here. We have 4 guys going at today. We got Uncle Weezy. We got Sparring with Reality Luke. We got 138 MMA. What is up, everybody? We'll kick it to Weezy first. Weezy, what is up? I know you have a lot of action on this card. You looking forward to it today?
Yeah, this is a fun card from a fan perspective. I think it's a lot of interesting, somewhat closely lined fights, which means that when you start entering those prop markets, you're getting some fatter numbers, some exciting numbers, some numbers that'll make your pants bulge a little bit. And I'm really kind of fired up to discuss it with you guys here and find ways to stack cash tickets like flapjacks and just really come out the other end with some units here. So I'm fired up.
Yep, I'm bulged up as well, or should I say I'm bricked up. I'm bricked up today. So we're looking forward to Malcolm Gordon, Jimmy Flick as well. We got Luke. Luke, welcome back. It's been a while, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Yeah, we got the old band back together, the old Pub Sports Radio DraftKings show days. It's good to finally be back on a show with you boys for our first pay-per-view of the year. Looking forward to chopping it up.
And last but not least, we got 138 MMA. What is up? Are you looking forward to this card?
Definitely looking forward to it. Pardon the awful glare I'm getting on my face. The sun is going down right now, and it's just blasting through the window. So bear with me, folks. I don't just have really bright lights on. But yeah, we're going to crush the card whether I can see or if I'm blinded or not. You know, we got this.
No, I was recording a video on Monday, and the glare was coming right through my window. It was kind of pissing me off a little bit. It's hard to concentrate with that glare, right?
You're telling me, brother. You're telling me.
Heck yeah. But yeah, glad to have you on. It is going, I think, my first show with 138 MMA. Is that cool if I call you 138 or you want me to call you something else?
Tyler's my name, but you can call me 138. You can call me Tyler. You can call me whatever you need to call me, as long as it can differentiate. We got it.
Okay,
you
I got you.
Okay, Al, bud.
Okay, bud. Let's go.
Whatever.
So I think this is Luke's, I think, first time on Best Bet. This is Tyler's first time on Best Bet as well. So, and then maybe it's your first time watching. We'll quickly go through the rules. So we get 10 bets per show. Obviously, there's 12 fights on this card, so you're going to get to pass on 2 of the fights. And you get 1 hypothetical unit to put on each of those bets. And be sure to use current lines that are available at the time of the show, which we're usually typically good at. And then at the end of the show, I'll ask for these guys' best bet. And then if you hit that best bet, your profit's going to double. So say, for example, Uncle Weezy's best bet is Malcolm Gordon at minus 200. Instead of getting 0.5 units, that'll double to getting a 1 unit on there. So yeah, before we get started, if you guys could please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe here to the channel. I did link down Uncle Weezy's YouTube channel, Tyler's YouTube channel, and I linked down Luke's Twitter. That's where he puts out most of his work, I believe. So go check all them out, give them a follow, subscribe to them. You want to shout out the chat before we get started? We got Cody L, first one in the building. What is up, Cody? We got MMA Goulash. We got Sean V, Snap at MMA, Jason. We got Mark. Which, by the way, Mark commented on my video today. It was probably one of the most disturbing comments I've ever seen. Something along the lines of, I'd submit him in like 5 seconds. I'm not sure what that was about, Mark, but that almost made me quit YouTube. A terrifying comment there. We got Steiny in the building. We got Eric the Red. We got 138 MMA. We got Gamble Stein, Elder, Voodoo. Who else we got up in here? We got Carlos in the chat. Get Darce Choke. We got J-Bo. We got Ryan Suck in the chat. Tone Miggins, D'Amato scorecard. I don't know. Hopefully D'Amato doesn't make an appearance tonight. Who else we got? We got Adam, Cody, Zach. What is up, everybody? I say we get into it. And as always, we're going to start with the first fight of the card. And we have Malcolm Gordon going against Jimmy Flick. We got Malcolm Gordon currently sitting at minus 205. We got Jimmy Flick sitting at plus 175. Luke, we'll start with you. What are you liking for the first fight of UFC 297?
Yeah, I'm on Team Brick Squad here. I'm going to give my just best bet with Jimmy Flick, honestly, just on the money line. I don't agree with the price. It's a high variance matchup, of course. Malcolm Gordon, pretty fragile. Jimmy Flick, pretty fragile. But I think one thing people are maybe missing a little bit within this matchup is that despite Gordon being a better boxer, I think this fight's going to be a grappling match. And I think Jimmy Flick is the better grappler of the two. Obviously, 14 of his 16 wins come via submission. Just in watching back the tape, Malcolm Gordon makes a lot more defensive grappling mistakes than Jimmy Flick does. Yeah, and so I think he's going to have his opportunities, coupled with another few other considerations. You know, Malcolm Gordon did miss weight. We know based on big data, fighters who miss weight, they kind of get docked a little bit of a 5% general equity over the last 10 years. Also, I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, Jimmy Flick has really bad cardio, but the last fight that went to the third round for him, his cardio looked fine, and he won via submission against a base wrestler in Nate Smith in LFA. So I can see this fight going a multitude of ways. So I'm not saying I have supreme degree of confidence in Jimmy Flick, but what I will say is this betting line is not accurate. So, I mean, if people want to get dicey with some more props, I get it, but I think the money line is the best value here. So give me Jimmy Flick plus 175.
All right, Luke going with the Jimmy Flick money line. And yeah, for me, I was thinking about this fight a lot, actually. And yesterday, what came to mind was, I don't know if you guys watched South Park, but that South Park episode where they had the debate, the 2004 South Park debate between the giant douche and the turd sandwich. It's like, man, you know, both these guys suck. I don't want to vote for either of these guys. And I kind of applied it to this fight. It's like, in this case, you got Jimmy Flick, who's, you know, probably the giant douche in this case. And then you have a guy in Malcolm Gordon, who's the turd sandwich, right? And it's like, do I want to bet a giant douche or do I want to bet a turd sandwich? And it's like, I don't want to bet either, but you have the turd sandwich sitting at minus 205 and you have the giant douche sitting at plus 175. So I don't have a strong lean one way or another, but I think this line, it's off. I feel like this fight can go either way. I feel like there can be like so many different outcomes here. What I'm going to give is a Jimmy Flick inside the distance plus 295. I mean, we're getting an inside the distance prop against Malcolm Gordon at, you know, plus 295. I'll take that all day. And I did make a GIF or as well. I didn't post it because I posted way too much on this Malcolm Gordon Jimmy Flick fight. But basically, you have the giant douche there who's plus 185, and then the turd sandwich who's minus 220. And it's like, you know, both these guys not great, but you know, give me the dog here. Could get very ugly. So yeah, taking Flick, getting a little bit more aggressive going inside the distance. Malcolm Gordon's been finished 7 times. Tyler, what are you liking in this fight?
Well, you know, I might sound like a bit of a square with this one right away, but I'm going to go with the under 1.5. And I'm seeing a plus 109 up there on the screen. So I'm going to take that plus 109, under 1.5.
All right. Tyler taking the under 1.5, minus 109. Uncle Weezy, what are you taking in this fight here?
Yeah, same thing. You know, when we were talking about this on Stack Diggers, Brady, I was like, you know, maybe this is going to be a sneaky over because I don't think Flick's really much of a finisher at the UFC level. And I mean, is Malcolm Gordon much of a finisher at the UFC level? Probably not, you know. But then I saw where it was priced and it was minus 125. And I was thinking to myself, now that's underpriced because, you know, the under 1.5 rate for the flyweight division, 28.47%, right? But, you know, Malcolm Gordon's been under 1.5 rounds 4 of 6 times in the UFC. And for Jimmy Flick, it's 3 of 3 in his UFC fight. So these guys are going under 1.5 rounds at 78% combined, yet the division only goes under 1.5 at 28%. So you would just expect to see a really overpriced under 1.5 rounds, but at minus 125 at a 55.5% implied probability, kind of feel like it's still playable. I mean, any one of these guys could get hurt at any point. You know, Flick is been knocked out in all of his losses. I mean, Malcolm Gordon could like roll an ankle going up the 3 steps into the octagon and then get knocked out early. he could get too much Vaseline on the forehead, and that can make him a little bit woozy. So, I'm just going with it because I feel like even though I don't have a ton of faith in either guy's ability to finish at this level, I've seen Flick just look like an absolute shadow of himself since he came back from the retirement. And both of these guys aren't durable. And the price, and it isn't as overpriced as I thought it would be. So under 1.5 rounds or whatever the best available price. I thought I saw the best was minus 125, but if it's plus,
I'm seeing minus 116 now. So I think it's changed in the last few minutes.
Okay, minus 116. Okay, yeah. Well, whatever the price is, we'll take it there because I paid minus 125 earlier in the week.
All right, so we got Tyler taking the under 1.5 along with Wheezy. Yeah, nothing wrong with the under 1.5 in a Malcolm Gordon and Jimmy Flick fight. I'm on Flick inside the distance. We got Luke on the Flick money line. Mikey B taking the douche money line there. I don't hate it. This fight's terrible in terms of like skill potentially, but I think this fight's going to be hilarious and I think it's going to be fun and I can't wait for it. Flick plus 400 by sub on Hard Rock. Yeah, I know some people on the Flick by submission. He has like a 90% submission rate. We got VA on the Malott round 1, round 2. Flick Gordon fight doesn't go to decision, and then the Lioness doesn't start round 3. I think you hit that there, and I think that's about it. All right, moving on to the next fight we have. I believe the biggest favorite on the card. We got Jasmine Dicious going against Priscilla Catchaware. We got Jasmine currently sitting at minus 410. Priscilla cheating sitting at plus 310. And yeah, I mean, Priscilla, is living up to her name this week. This fight was supposed to take place at flyweight. Jasmine got a call Friday, and they said that Priscilla's probably not going to make 125. All right, they move it to a catch weight of 130. Jasmine gets another call. She can't make the catch weight of 130. And then now it's a bantamweight fight. So Priscilla coming in here, cheating already. And I think it's only fitting that, shout out to Lou Betcha. I give the Yam Bag special, if you will, plus 1,600 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I feel like this should already hit because I feel like she cheated already. I feel like she should be deducted a point. I mean, having a fight move up an entire weight class is incredible. So yeah, plus 1,600 for this point deduction. I think a point is very well live to get deducted here. Honestly, like Priscilla should have got a point deducted in the Jillian Robertson fight if she didn't get submitted. She should have got multiple points deducted in the Miranda Maverick fight. I mean, she was ripping off Maverick's shirt. She was putting her toes in the cage, her fingers in the cage. She's just a well-known cheater, hence the name Priscilla Cheating. So I feel like, not often do we get point deductions that aren't like 20-1 on DraftKings. They moved it. A lot of money's come in on it, and rightfully so. This fighter's a cheater. So I think a plus 1,600 is worth a spot or worth a shot. Give me a Priscilla Catchaware, Jasmine Dicious point deduction 16-1. Uncle Weezy, what are you liking in this fight here?
Yeah, I bet that point deduction last night. And honestly, that should be priced at like plus 300. This is a Priscilla Catchaware fight. I mean, she might come into the cage with like a foreign object in her trunks. I'm not bullshitting. Like, they better pat her down, like seriously, before she gets in there, because this lady will do anything in her power to cheat. So I bet it, and it's my best bet at 15-1, which is where I played it. Now it's 16-1. That price, you cannot ignore that. I think it hits. And I remember in the old Pride days, sometimes they'd take the yellow and the red cards out of the referee would take the yellow or the red card out of their pants and and show it for they would take a percentage of the purse. And a lot of times they'd show somebody a fighter, like a yellow card before the fight even started. And I never knew why they would do that, but I could see that happening. I could see Priscilla walking into the cage, the ref grabbing her hand, walking her in the center and just saying 1 point, 1 point. She cheated. This fight was contracted at 125 and she shows up at 135 and a half. Who does she think she is? It's ridiculous, dude. She's getting a point deducted, and we're going to fucking celebrate when it happens because we're going to be cashing a big 16-1 number here. And that's my bet for this fight.
He's asking who's the ref. We need a ref that's like good at giving point deductions. Like who? Like Chris Tione gives a lot. We need maybe Keith Peterson's no nonsense. I don't think he'll tolerate any cheating. So I think either Tione or Keith Peterson, if one of them two are reffing, I could see a point deduction for sure. Luke, what are you looking at for this fight here?
Well, maybe for me and the other panel's sake, I really hope that doesn't happen, because you guys might just win the entire season if you put that as your best bet and it comes through. So yeah, I guess I'm taking a little bit more of a square-ish type play. Jasmine round 3 decision is -155 on FanDuel. Obviously the better wrestler, pretty clear, better grappler. However, she doesn't really prioritize a lot of submissions. Catchaware, despite being bad on bottom, she has still shown to be tough. It took Shevchenko a second to get, her out of there. It took Maverick till the 3rd round to get her out of there. So I do think she'll probably hang in there long enough, but I just kind of struggled to see her winning minutes. So I think this is a decent way to buy down on Jazz and get a little bit better of a number.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't betting the point deduction, that's what I had as well. That round 3 decision, I think, makes a lot of sense there. Tyler, how are you attacking this fight here?
So I thought about just playing the inside the distance, but I wanted to go a little more plus money. So I'm going to go with Jazz Vicious, KO, TKO, DQ, and I believe my bookie has it at +450.
All right, we got Tyler taking the Jasmine KO +450. Me and Uncle Weezy on.
DQ is important there.
The
because
what?
The DQ. Is important. Because you got to remember, everybody that bet Cody Brundage by KO and just happened to have DQ attached to that when he fought Malkoon ended up cashing that ticket. Making sure that I've got you gotta think the DQ, because if anybody's getting disqualified, you know who it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, she probably already should be disqualified for her coming in.
Exact same thing.
10 pounds over. I mean, that should hit right now, but
it should hit right now.
I guess the fights are going to happen. So, all right, yeah. So I will add that added it right there. The Jasmine KO/TKO/DQ, which the DQ is important. We got me and Uncle Weezy on the cheating point deduction +1600, and then we got Luke on the more reasonable Jasmine round 3 decision -155 there. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat for this one. Priscilla by KO. Yeah, I mean, if she gets into that crucifix position, I mean, I think she could potentially finish her late, especially if, I don't know if it's, Priscilla's coming in here with like an injury, or, maybe she is trying to come in here with an unfair advantage. I don't know, but, her not being able to make 125 or even 130 in that matter, it's kind of concerning. Priscilla might come in out of shape. She might come in hurt. Like, I don't know. But that is very concerning on the Catchaware side, hence why she is a pretty big underdog. And Donnie is going to, for this one, kick his feet up on the coffee table and crack open a couple of root beers. Nothing wrong with that. And then shoot proof on the fight doesn't go to decision. All right. We will move on to the next fight. We got Johan Lioness going against Sam Patterson. We got Johan Lioness -140, Sam Patterson +120. Tyler, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
All right. So first things first, fixing my camera. Hopefully it's better in a second. But I also got to say, Donnie is the man for shouting that out, because, my guy cracking open a root beer for me. We're going to be drinking root beers all night. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm looking at, let's see, Patterson Lioness. I'm looking at Patterson by submission at +360. I don't even think Patterson wins, but I think if he does win, it's going to be a submission. So we're rolling with that. Patterson submission, 360.
All right, sorry. I didn't mean to make you go for. I didn't even see you away from the camera. That was my
You're good,
bad.
bro. I'm trying to get this stupid glare out of the way, but we'll see.
Yeah,
right now we're highlighting this beautiful shirt I've got. So if anybody needs one, let me know. I can get you. I'll send the link in the chat. Don't worry.
There you go. Yeah. Luckily, I don't have to worry about the glare today. The sun's not been out all day. Uncle Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I got the Patterson money line for this fight at +120. I don't think Lioness is that good. And of course, I'm worried, that Patterson's chin's up too high and he gets clipped. I mean, that can happen in any fight. And I'm interested to see how the durability now, if it gets any better, if we see Sam Patterson being able to take a heavier shot now that he's moving up to 170, because it's a double-edged sword. You move up and, you'll become a little more durable, but also when you move up, that people hit a little bit harder. And we know that Johan's got serious power. So, yeah, I mean, like, I kind of feel like if this gets out of the first round, the volume, the pressure, the conditioning differential between these two guys is pretty alarming, actually. And Sam's the younger, longer, taller fighter, and he's actually more experienced as well. I kind of feel like he's fought the better brand of competition over his career if you look at the guys that he was fighting in Brave. So, yeah, I'm looking at Patterson +120, just hoping he doesn't get clipped early.
All right, Sam Patterson money line plus 120 for Uncle Weezy. For me, I don't have a strong take on who wins this fight, but what I do think is I think it is going to be a violent fight. The odds heavily indicate that it's minus 600 for this fight. Doesn't go the distance, which is by far the most likely fight to finish inside the distance. Even like the Gordon Flick is like only like minus 350 to finish inside the distance. So the bookies are expecting violence. I'm expecting violence. I think it's Lioness early or Patterson late. I think the Patterson late props were something I'm looking at. I'm going to go with what I think is Lioness's best win condition, and that's going to be first round knockout, sitting at plus 275. If it doesn't happen, honestly, within like the first couple minutes, I think he's going to slow down. I think this guy has terrible cardio, and it seems like in his last couple fights, he's kind of just doing nothing, trying not to gas out, and he's like still gassing out. It's kind of funny, but yeah, I think Lioness needs to come in here approaching this fight like he used to fight. Go in there and try to take this guy's head off. If he does, he does. That cashes. If not, I think Patterson kind of breaks him along the way in that second or third. But I'll take a Lioness. Would never lay minus 140 on him, but I think plus 275 KO1, that is his win condition. Luke, what do you take for this fight here?
Yeah, it's another fight I don't really feel great about, but I'll go with Patterson round 2, round 3, which is aggregated about plus 405 at FanDuel right now. We kind of know the historic general dynamic with both guys. You know, Lioness generally pretty front loaded. Patterson kind of an attritional builder, dangerous front chokes. So I think if Patterson kind of avoid the big bonk early here, you have a cardio dynamic on the Lioness side. So I don't really want to mess around with the sub or the KO, but I think if he can get past 5 minutes here, I think Patterson's win equity increases by a decent amount. So plus 405 on the round 2, take out the MOV. I think that's a decent poke.
Yep. You said 435, right?
405.
405. Okay, gotcha there. No, I agree. I mean, I think even like 3 minutes, if he survives 3 minutes, that heavily in every minute that ticks by heavily increases Sam Patterson's chances there. Joe, like in the Patterson round 3 plus 1600. Yeah, I mean, if he gets to round 3, you're gonna love that. Let's see. Patterson was knocked out by a fat, chubby Indian guy. Yeah, he doesn't have the best chin, but
that's true. Hardeep Rai back in Brave. Yeah, first round bonking.
Shout out to Hardeep Rai. Shout out to him. Johan will catch him early. That's certainly on the table. Let's see here. I agree with Brady. Lioness by finish or Patterson late round 1 or round 2 is kind of how I'm seeing it as well. And we will move on to the next fight here. We have Jillian Robertson going against Viana. We have Jillian Robertson. So there's been some line movement here. Jillian Robertson was sitting around minus 180 for like a couple weeks, and then currently minus 305 on the money line. Viana is currently sitting at plus 254. So Robertson, assuming very popular parlay piece this week. This line's moved a ton. We'll start with you, Luke. What do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I was someone who jumped on that Jillian minus 180, but obviously that's completely gone now, so I can't give that out. So I'm just going to go with Robertson inside the distance, which I think is like even money or roughly around there. Viana, despite being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, Robertson, pretty elite top game. When you can pass the guard of Viana, she becomes no longer very dangerous. We saw that in the last fight against Homegirl, and obviously, Robertson's pretty strong on top. So Viana's willing to accept takedowns. Robertson's going to shoot takedowns. If a girl like Lucinda can go out there and kind of dog walk her from top, I kind of see more of the same from Robertson. So give me Robertson inside the distance.
All right, Robertson inside the distance, plus 100 for Luke. Uncle Weezy, what do you like over this fight here?
Absolutely nothing, my man. I agree with everything that Luke said, but I just don't want to pay I don't want to pay even money for an inside the distance prop in a women's fight. I could see Jillian getting takedowns and doing really good work on top for 15 minutes and maybe not getting the finish. So I could see finish, I could see decision, and I don't want to lay minus 300 on the money line. So I'm just passing.
Yeah, I looked in this matchup, and I think it's a great matchup for Jillian Robertson. I think, Viana's style is going to play right into what Robertson wants to do, which is get the fight down on the mat. Viana, terrible takedown defense, 43% on paper, but she really doesn't try to stuff takedowns. She's content to, she'll pull guard, she'll end up on bottom, and she's fine with playing off her back. And that's just not something you want to do against Jillian Robertson. I think this strawweight weight class is going to be great for Robertson. I think this is a great matchup for her. And I'm with Luke. I do think she finishes. I think it might come a little bit later in the fight, though. And I do like a prop. It is the Jillian Robertson submission in rounds 2 or rounds 3 on FanDuel at plus 330. I think it's sub. I know Jillian's been talking all week about potentially getting a KO. I do lean towards submission. Viana's been submitted twice in the UFC, and that's kind of Robertson's go-to. So I like that 2-3 in general, but I'm going a little bit more aggressive. I'm going the 2-3 sub plus 330 there. Tyler, what are you liking for this fight here?
All right, so here's the deal. I agree Robertson probably goes for the sub, but we're not going to take it because we're going to get overly aggressive, and we're going to try and set the bar high for best bet. So we're going to go Robertson KO plus 950 on Unibet.
All right. To your credit, though, she's been talking about it all week. Like she's predicting a KO plus 950. She does want it. All right. So I'm taking the Robertson sub 2-3. Wheezy's passing on the Robertson fight. He's using up one of his 2 passes. 138. Tyler's taking the Robertson KO plus 950. And then Luke is taking Robertson inside the distance at plus 100. Jillian just looked like shit. But yeah, I mean, she looked like shit against Tabitha Reaching, man. That's a terrible matchup for her. Let's see. Robertson will sub her in the middle of the fight. Uncle Wheezy smart to throw away on this fight. Yeah, he could be.
We'll see.
And bro's literally fighting Uber drivers. Like it's not even, I don't know who he's talking about on this one. Jillian 2 and 3. That's kind of where I'm leaning as well. Appreciate you. Any action, Effie. Best of luck to you today. A hot shower could take down Viana. That's certainly the truth. That is certain. Hopefully, there's no hot showers in the octagon. If so, I think Malcolm Gordon's in trouble. But last time I checked, there's no hot showers, so I think they'll be good. All right, we'll move on to another fight here. We got Surrey City going against Ramon Tavares. We have City currently sitting at minus 190. Tavares sitting at plus 165. And it looks like some money has came in on City as of late after the weigh-ins. Tavares was the last one to show up. He didn't look great at all. And he missed weight by a decent amount. I think he weighed in like 139.5. So luckily this fight's even happening. But I didn't think Tavares looked that great on the scale. We'll start with Uncle Wheezy. Wheezy, you have 1 pass left. Are you passing on this fight, or is there something that you found you like?
No, you know what? I'm going to go with a line that I just find to be kind of cheap, because rematches don't necessarily play out like the first fight did. These guys now, they know each other a little bit better. And I see an over 1.5 at this weight class at minus 115. And I'm thinking to myself, that's really cheap. Why wouldn't it go over 1.5? If you watch City fight on the regional scene, he is in the clinch a lot. He's on the ground a lot. And he's a bit of a grinder, and he's got excellent cardio and excellent durability. So if I don't see City getting finished in the first 7.5 minutes, now I could absolutely see Tavares getting finished. This guy's a bum. How do you miss weight 2 times in a row against the same opponent? He missed weight on Dana White's Contender Series, knowing that he would have a 0% chance of getting a contract if that happened. Then he gets a UFC contract because he beats Cortavius Ramius on Dana White's Contender Series a couple weeks ago or a couple weeks later. Then he comes out and he misses weight by 3.5 pounds on his UFC debut. He probably didn't even deserve to be here in the first place. So, I think that if there is a finish, it's going to be City. But at minus 115 for the over 1.5, I'll take that.
Yeah, I kind of leaned over as well after the weight miss. A little bit sketchier, but I think I do see a late finish here. I'm taking a little bit different of an approach. So this was a spot that stuck out all week, even before the weigh-ins, and it's the fight ends by knockout. Currently at minus 125, so it has moved a tad, but we're getting the fight doesn't go to decision, is sitting at anywhere from minus 260 to minus 300. I think this fight ends by knockout. I mean, Tavares has 3 submissions on his record, but I don't think he's submitting City. I mean, the submission wins that Tavares has are against very low-level competition. City does have one submission, but I think these guys are going to stand and bang like the first fight. I don't trust the chin of Tavares, especially after the weight miss. I think Tavares could potentially be the first one to knock out City. Tavares has incredible power for the bantamweight division, but I think the longer this fight goes, the more it does favor City. I don't trust the cardio of Tavares to begin with, and on top of the very bad weight miss, I don't like it even more. So I think At some point, somebody's going to get knocked out here. Taris has been knocked down in both his losses. I'd like the fight to end by knockout at -125 rather than laying, -260, -300 on the fight doesn't go. I think we do get violence here. Tyler, what do you like it for this fight?
So I think I like the city inside the distance prop at +130. I mean, he got it done in the first fight, obviously, but that, you know how it is. But I think he's going to get it done here again, and I just can't decide whether I think he's going to get the knockout or the sub, because I do think on the ground he's going to be vastly better. So I think the sub is live for him, but considering he dropped him in the last fight, I got to just go with the inside the distance, play it safe. It's still plus money. I'll take it. Although it does scare me to pick a guy that got into MMA because he watched Never Back Down, which is an awful movie. So that does scare me a bit. It does, but it gives me some pause. But I'm going to take City inside the distance to wrap it all up.
All right, City inside the distance for Tyler there. And then last but not least, Luke, what are you liking for this fight here?
I'm actually going to take my first pass on this one.
All right. Just pass. No thoughts on it? Just pass? Don't want to talk about that?
Not really, no. I know a lot of people really like City. It's just a little bit difficult for me to unsee him kind of getting lit up by Taris early in that fight, and then he caught him. Obviously the weight miss or whatever, but I don't know. There's not too much standing out to me, so.
All right. Yep. Fair enough. Luke taking his first pass. We got Tyler taking the City inside the distance +130. Wheezy taking the over. I'm taking the fight ends by knockout. Let's see what you guys got in the chat here. The meta on the fight ends by KO as well. I was leaning a revenge angle, but after the weight miss, I'm not touching it. Yeah, I was kind of leaning Taris at the number as well, but after just a terrible, not even close weight miss, I'm not touching the Taris side as well. Joel liking the over 1.5. Yeah, I like it. These guys aren't going to go for the KO. I mean, I highly disagree with that. I think they will, but I do think this potentially does go over. And the fight ends by KO -150. Yeah, it's -125 on Bet Rivers and then -130 on FanDuel. But yeah, DraftKings has it -150 there. Love how I know all the lines off the top of my head. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We have Charles Jourdain going against Sean Woodson. We got Charles Jourdain -199. Sean Woodson currently sitting at +174. And I'll kick this one off, and it's because I'm going to take a pass here. So, I mean, I like Jourdain here, but I feel like if this fight does go the full 15 minutes, I mean, I think it's going to look very, very close here. There's not really many props that I love on this fight. I think Jourdain is live for a late finish. Like always, this guy turns it up as the fight goes on. So I think Jourdain round 3 would potentially be something to look at, but I think I'm going to pass on this one. There's other spots I like better on this card. So I'm passing, using up my first pass for Jourdain Woodson. Tyler, what are you liking for this fight here?
So I think we're about to set a trend here. I hate to pass because I wish I could bet on every fight, but that's how you get in trouble. So I'm going to have to pass on this one. Jourdain's too big of a favorite to play. Woodson, tempting as the underdog. I don't know how that goes if this fight goes to decision. I think it's going to be a close fight. It's not a juicy enough number for me to be enticed. I got to pass. There's better spots on the card, so that's where I'm at.
All right, so me and Tyler both using up our first pass. We all have used one pass so far, so we all have one pass left for the rest of the card. We'll go to you, Luke. What are you liking for this fight here?
So actually, I think there is a sneaky way to play this fight. I like the Sean Woodson points handicap +3.5 at -105 on DraftKings. Jourdain has been a slower starter in the past. Woodson's obviously a massive guy at 145 with a 78-inch reach. So I do think it might actually take a little bit for Mr. Jourdain to get going here. So I think it's honestly pretty live that Sean Woodson comes out here and wins the first round, but we do know that Jourdain has historically been a builder. We have seen Woodson getting broken down later in fights in the past, and that's kind of what I see here. But I do think Woodson holds on, so I ultimately see like a Jourdain 29-28 decision type of win, but obviously with the points handicap, all you need for Woodson is for him to go out here and win a round, even in a loss, to cash your ticket. So I think this is actually a sneaky good way to play this fight.
Yeah, I mean, if he can hang on and this fight does go the distance, I think that's super, super live. You said -135 on that?
-105.
-105. Okay, even better there. All right, Uncle Wheezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, that's a great call by Luke, because I kind of see this as being a fight that could be 2-1 Jordan. I just worry, about Woodson's chin a little bit, and maybe Jordan gets him out of there. So yeah, it's a pass for me too. I apologize, 3 out of 4 people passing on the panel, but this is just a fight that I don't see much on. But I definitely think that the plus 3.5 points handicap that Luke mentioned at right around even money, that's compelling. That's a good looking bet. But I passed.
Yeah, if you're on the Woodson side this week, I mean, that's something you gotta love, because I don't think you're finishing Jordan. I don't think anybody is outside of the Rosa loss. But yeah, if you think if you're on the Woodson side, I think that's an incredible way to play it. How many hours left until the event? The fight card starts at 6:30 Eastern time, so 1 hour and 22 minutes there. This fight is upset written all over it. 3rd round, King Jordan. Joel liking that Jordan round 3 plus 1,300.
Yeah.
Not sure about Woodson, so Jordan there. Jordan has always let me down. Yeah, there's been some letdown spots for Jordan for sure. I remember the Coolabal fight. He was like minus 300. The fight ended up being a draw. We got Papa Chuck in the building. Best of luck to you all today, and thanks for doing such hard work for all of us D-Gens. What is up, Papa Chuck? Best of luck to you as well. And Thabello, can't wait. Me as well. All right, guys, we'll move on to the next fight. We have the featured prelim here. We got Brad Katona taking on Garrett Armfield. Uncle Weezy, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Katona round 3 decision prop. I saw it at minus 115 on DraftKings. I worry a little bit about Armfield being able to push a pace for 3 full rounds, especially against somebody like Katona that's fairly high volume. And also, Katona is very durable. So I think that Katona can survive the early onslaught here and do the better work down the stretch. But, laying minus 210, minus 200 on a guy like Katona that is a bit of a decisionator, that is a guy that doesn't necessarily put stamps on fights, that worries me. But getting him at, I think, what his best win condition is, round 3 or decision at minus 115, that makes me feel a lot better, because I'm getting the more experienced guy, the more well-tested guy, the guy who's fought the better brand of competition, and the guy who's fighting in his home country in Canada. So yeah, I'll go with Katona round 3 decision, minus 115 DraftKings.
Yeah, I'll give you an even better price. It's a minus 108 on Bet Rivers, and I would
Yay.
know. Heck yeah, I would know, because that's what I'm on as well, Weezy. I think Brad Katona wins this fight. I mean, I like this matchup for him. I was going back and watching some of these Armfield fights. I mean, I think the takedown defense is a serious problem. The grappling defense is a serious problem. Even the cardio for Armfield, I think, could be a problem as well. And Katona's a smart dude. He's not much of a finisher, though. Katona has I think the worst finish rate on the entire card. But with Armfield getting submitted twice, with his conditioning not being that great, I want to get that round 3 in there. I do lean towards decision for Katona, but I also think that round 3 could be in play, man. Katona's last 3 submission wins all come in round 3 for what it's worth. So yeah, I'm playing it too. I think it's a great way to play Katona. Round 3 decision, minus 108. Tyler, what are you looking at for this fight?
So what Weezy said really does make sense, and I have it written down that it's a pass. So I'm going to pass. But I'm tempted to actually just turn around and go bet that. but I'm going to pass on this one. I do have other spots I like better. So there we go.
And that happens sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, man, I really like what this guy had to say. So it happens for sure. I like it. And then Luke, what do you like for this fight?
So we actually have a consensus best bet play, because Katona round 3 decision is exactly what I have written down as well. I think you guys broke down kind of all the major points. I just don't really trust Armfield's cardio within the matchup. I think it's ultimately a cardio matchup. I do think Armfield can start strong within this matchup, but I do think Katona's tough, durable, better cardio, take over the fight. Don't want to get greedy with a Katona decision, because I do think late finishes are in play for Katona. So I will join you boys on that one.
All right. 3 for 3. We'll see if Brad Katona can come through here. We got Skinny Jimmy saying Dricus TKO round 2. He's putting 200K on it. 200K on it to win like $1 million probably. Katona easy decision. I think so as well. Appreciate you, Raw Tark. Thank you for stopping by. Josh at liking Katona win by decision. Flip side, Katona could get starched in the first 60 seconds. I mean, Armfield would be the first person to ever finish Katona. I mean, I think Katona's next level durable, and you showed that off a little bit in the Gibson fight. I mean, his chin was tested for 15 straight minutes there. No doubt, Katona. Rocky getting the belt. We'll talk about that fight. Joel on the Armfield round 1 KO, and then Katona round 3. Yeah, I think the Katona round 3 could potentially be on the table there. I don't know if Armfield's finishing Katona. That'd be incredible if he did, but I don't see it personally. Katona KO there. Skinny Jimmy is lying. I mean, you never know. And then the highest level MMA tonight is Malcolm Gordon.
Yes.
Yes, yes, indeed. Katona looked off on the scale. I didn't think he looked bad. You guys think Katona looked bad? You guys watch the weigh-ins? Anybody?
Well, no, he just always looks like that. I mean, always looks like that. That's why people don't like that guy. You know, he's just he's got a very punchable face, and he just kind of always looks like that.
Yeah, he does look like a very unlikable guy. That's for sure. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to go through the prelims. If you guys have not already, be sure to like the video. Let's try to get those likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. Also, go subscribe to these guys. Got Wheezy's YouTube link down below, Tyler's YouTube link down below, and then Luke's Twitter link down below. Go give these guys a follow. So I'll start with myself. So I'm taking Jimmy Flick inside the distance, plus 295 to kick off the card. The catch a cheating point deduction, plus 1,600, which should have already cashed, but we'll see if it comes through. Lioness KO1, 275. Robertson sub 2-3, plus 330. City Tavares fight ends by knockout, minus 125. Passing on the Jourdain fight. And then Katona round 3 decision, minus 108. Uncle Weezy's taking the Gordon. Flick under 1.5, minus 116. The catch a cheating point deduction, plus 1,600. Patterson money line plus 120. Passing on the Robertson fight. The City Tavares over 1.5. The passing on the Jourdain fight, and then taking the Katona round 3 decision minus 108. Does all that look right to you, Weezy?
Yeah, that all looks good to me.
All right, Tyler's taking the Gordon under 1.5 rounds minus 116. Jasmine to win by KO, TKO, or DQ plus 450. Patterson sub plus 360. Robertson KO plus 950. City inside the distance plus 130. And then passing on both the Jourdain and Katona fights. Does that look right to you, Tyler?
Looks great, brother.
Okay, and so Weezy used up both of his passes. Tyler used up both of his passes. Luke has used up one pass. He's taken Jimmy Flick money line plus 175. Jasmine round 3 decision minus 155. Patterson round 2 or round 3 plus 405. Roberts inside the distance plus 100. Passing on the City fight. The Woodson plus 3.5 point spread minus 105. And then Katona round 3 decision minus 108. Luke, does that look good to you?
Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good to me. I say we get into this main card then, and we're going to start with Arnold Allen versus Movsar Evloev. And we have Movsar Evloev is currently sitting at minus 185. Arnold Allen sitting at plus 160. I have a feeling that somebody might have a max bet on this fight, and that man might be on the panel, and that man just sat back down, so I'm going to give it to him. Wheezy, what is your best bet for this fight?
Yeah, you know, there's two that I really like here, actually. The Arnold Allen plus 3.5 points handicap is minus 145 on DraftKings. And right now, the Arnold Allen finish only prop is also minus 145 on Bet Online. And I max bet the finish only prop for Arnold Allen. You know, I don't see Movsar Evloev as a finisher. He does have 7 UFC wins. 0 of them are finishes. And Arnold Allen's a durable guy. You know, he's never been finished in the UFC either. And, you know, the way I see this fight playing out, I just think that there's a massive power differential on the feet here. And in you know, with all the ground control time that Movsar Evloev has had in the UFC, this guy's only attempted 2 submissions, and he didn't get either of them. So, you know, I think the bet voids, you know, maybe 80% of the time. I see this fight going the distance. But, you know, I think it's a very safe play. I would be shocked, really, if Movsar got a finish. And I'd frankly be kind of surprised if Arnold did, too, because these guys are high-level, well-matched, very skillful, well-rounded fighters. So, but I do think that that finish only probably minus 145 is just a safe play this week.
All right, Arnold Allen, finish only, minus 145 for Wheezy. Tyler, what do you like for this fight here?
I'm going to assume that I'm probably alone on this one, but I really feel like Arnold Allen just goes out there and just messes up Evloev bad. Like, I don't know if he actually gets the finish, but I think it's not going to be close. I think he's going to beat the brakes off him. I'm going to take his money line, and I believe it's at like plus 165 right now on probably my bookie, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Arnold Allen's probably going to go out there, get taken down a couple times, work his way back up, and make Evloev pay for every failed attempt and even the attempts that he does get. And I think Allen on the feet is going to be way better. He's going to do a lot of his, you know, kind of that like high elbow guard he does. He's going to start framing the face off and landing those big power shots. I think Evloev is going to get his face busted up real bad. And I think we're going to get and Arnold Allen win, whether that be decision, submission, or knockout. So Arnold Allen money line.
All right. Tyler on the Arnold Allen money line. Luke, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, so I guess mark take for me. I'm going to go Evloev decision, minus 120. I just think grind away. You know, I do understand that I think Allen is the better striker in this fight, but we have seen him slow under wrestling pressure in the past, and I do think Evloev is the best wrestler that he's fought to date. So ultimately, I do think Arnold Allen's going to land strikes. I do think he's going to compete. I do think he could even make this fight more competitive than the betting odds indicate, but I just think Evloev is going to do more at the end of the day to earn a decision. So most likely outcome, not trying to get too cute with this one.
Yeah, it was between that for me, or there's another spot that I don't mind. So the fight goes to decision is minus 325, and I'm with Wheezy. I think if there's a finish, it's absolutely Arnold Allen. I don't see a world where Evloev really finishes anybody, let alone Arnold Allen there. But yeah, I think this fight goes the distance more often than not. And I think it could be competitive here. You know, Evloev, I think he can go out there and get takedowns. I think on the feet, Allen's going to be landing some big strikes. So I think we can get a close and competitive fight. I think the split decision's very much in play here. It's plus 350 on DraftKings for a fight that's, in my opinion, like 80% to go to decision. I'd be very surprised if either of these guys got a finish. So I give me that fight to end by split decision. Looking for either one of the judges to F it up, which is always on the table, or this fight to be a close fight, which is also on the table. So plus 350. Don't want a split prop there. Let's see here. The line on the Evloev fight has moved a lot in the past couple hours. Yeah, a little bit. He was like minus 200. Now he's minus 185. So some buyback on Arnold Allen. It looks like Arnold Allen sub 2, sub 3. Evloev decision. The way to go minus 110. Allen all day. How's Allen going to defend the takedown? Yeah, that's kind of the big talking point. From what we've seen, his takedown even doesn't look great, but the last time we've seen it tested was like 6 years ago. So we'll see there. Allen's going to beat up on the ground. Allen finished only minus 135 on DK.
Ooh, really?
So it looks like we can give you a better price than Wheezy.
That is sweet. I thought I just saw it minus 170. I might be wrong.
Wheezy double max bet.
No, I got it.
Throw another five.
It's minus 135. No, I got it at a better price. I actually got it at minus 121 on Bet Rivers, and then I tipped that on Twitter. But 135 is a phenomenal price. That's a great price.
Yep. So I'll give Wheezy a better price on that, and then Luke a better price on the decision minus 110. I see it. Best price there.
Nice.
Evloev wants that ship. Yeah, both these guys do, I'm sure. The Allen KO is crazy. He does have some power. Evloev could easily sub Allen. I don't know, man. I don't really see it, but anything can happen there. Allen can finish him, but Evloev can't. Evloev just doesn't really have an interest in finishing anybody, it looks like. So I would kind of lean decision as well. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. We have Chris Curtis going against Marc-Andre Bario. We got Chris Curtis currently sitting at minus 184, and then Marc Bario sitting at plus 159. We'll start with our Uncle Wheezy. Wheezy, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm going with something a little bit longer shot, something a little bit cheeky here. I'm going with the on FanDuel, Chris Curtis round 2 or 3 knockout at plus 600. I think this line is right about where it should be. I think Chris Curtis, I think if this thing goes to decision, it's going to be close because Curtis is not a great minute winner. And Barrio's pretty solid with his pressure, his output, and he lands pretty big. So I think it could be close if it goes to decision. But I think if Chris Curtis wins this fight, it's because he finds that big shot, a big liver shot, a big counter. And we've seen Marc Bario get finished at the UFC level by Chidi Njokuani. I don't think Curtis hits that hard, but Curtis is very precise. And when he finds that counter shot and sets it up properly, it can usually end the fight. So I'm looking for what I think would be his best win condition here. And that's a second or a third round KO. You put them together, you get plus 600. It's a fat line. And I actually bet it untracked for a quarter unit as well.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I have the same exact thing. Curtis to win in round 2 or 3 by knockout plus 600. Just because I feel like if he is going to go out there and pay off this price tag, I think it has to be a knockout. Because if this fight goes the distance and you're laying minus 185 on Chris Curtis, I don't think you're going to feel great about it. First of all, he's probably going to lose the first round. Second of all, he's probably going to get out volume. And then third of all, we're in Canada. So I think if this fight does go the distance, Marc-Andre Barrio is going to be very live for a decision. But yeah, I think Chris Curtis is going to be also very live to knock out Marc-Andre Barrio in that second or third round. Curtis takes a while to get going, and he hits hard. So Chris Curtis, KO 2-3 for me as well, plus 600. I think it's a great number. Luke, what are you looking at for this fight?
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the goes the distance at minus 130 here. I think both of these guys are really tough, durable dudes. Chris Curtis has obviously never been, or I think he's been knocked out once, but it was like really, really early on in his career. Barrio, the only recent knockout that came was against Njokuani, where he clipped him behind the ear in 16 seconds, which is just kind of a meme, random finish. But like prior to that, Barrio hadn't been stopped in 26 amateur and pro fights. I just think these guys have really good hardware. I do understand that Curtis is probably one of the bigger hitters that he's fought. This is probably going to be sweaty. These guys are probably going to throw a healthy amount of strikes, but I just think both of these guys have shown an immense amount of toughness and durability and cardio over the course of their careers, which are two boxes I like to check when I'm looking at overs or goes the distance props. So give me the goes the distance and probably a sweaty high action fight, but I do think it's the most likely outcome in a correct play.
All right, Luke taking the goes the distance. What number was that? My bad.
130, but I'll take that minus 128 if you'll give it to me.
All right, sounds good. I'll give it minus 128. Curtis Barrio goes the distance. Nothing wrong with that. Both these guys really durable. And then Tyler, what are you liking for this fight here?
You're muted, brother.
Yep.
You're still muted.
Still muted, yeah. Okay, so use sign language and tell me your bet, because I think you're still muted.
You're still muted, dude. We can't hear you. There we go.
Don't know why that's still muted. There we go. We got it. Okay, we got it. So yeah, Chris Curtis round 2 knockout is the bet.
Nice.
Plus 1,000.
Nice. I like that too.
I think it's round 2 as well.
I think
Curtis,
the Meta Human Project in the chat said it best. Left hook.
Yeah.
plus 1,000, you say?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So we got Tyler with the KO2 plus 1,000, calling a shot there. We have Luke taking the fight goes, and then me, Weezy, taking the KO2 3 plus 600 there. I think one of us will be right on that one. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Power bar by decision. Yeah, if you feel like Bario, I think decision's the way to go. I don't think anybody's ever finishing Chris Curtis. I don't think it's going to happen. Fight goes the distance. Both guys tough and durable. Absolutely, both guys super tough. Meta Human Project, like you said, Tyler. Round 2, Chris Curtis. Raw torque on the 2 and 3. It's close, but I got Curtis. Yeah, if this fight goes the distance, I think it's pretty close. The mark plus 3.5 point spread. I think that hits as long as his chin holds up. All right, and then Curtis left hook. Never mind, right hook. Let's go. All right, moving on to the next fight. We have Mike Malott going against Neil Magny. Let's see. We'll start with you, Tyler. We got Mike Malott minus 368, Neil Magny plus 293. We got Malott, the second biggest favorite on the card. What are you liking here?
Yeah, so I'm going to play this one really boring because I just want to make sure I get on the board with something so I don't end up negative. Like, it's just you don't want to be a negative, right? I don't want to throw some shade there. But so I'm going to go the under 2.5 rounds at minus 185 on Bet Online.
Magny under 185.
Yeah, that's what I see anyway. I don't know. Is it still live? Is it still live?
That's good. All right. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with getting on the board. No shame in that. A lot under 2.5, minus 185 for Tyler. Uncle Weezy, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm getting a little cheeky again here. I'm just going with Mike Malott first round sub plus 350. I love that line. I mean, plus 350 is fantastic. That is the best win condition for that long neuro ass giraffe neck that Magny has. It's just begging to be choked. And yeah, I could just see Malott landing a big shot. And then whenever there's a scramble, you just see Malott looking to lock up that guillotine. And once his hands are together, it's over. So yeah, I'm looking for him to get it done early, a way that we've seen Malott or Magny lose several times before. So first round sub for Malott's the bet, plus 350.
I'm shocked that that's plus 350. What book is that on?
That's on Bet Online, dude. I just tracked it for a quarter unit. I saw it and I was like, wait, what? I've been seeing that around like plus 220 or something all week. And then I'm like, really? Bet Online's offering that number?
Ain't that weird?
Yeah, I'm going with it.
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't even check the Bet Online props this week. I've been checking other books, and yeah, I didn't remember seeing a plus 350. So Bet Online hanging the best price tag for that sub 1. Shout out to Bet Online there. For me, yeah, I agree. I think we do get violence here. The way I'm going to attack it is I like Mike Malott to win in rounds 1 or rounds 2 at minus 120 on FanDuel Sportsbook. This guy's minus 368 on the money line. And I think the big narrative is this is a setup fight for the Canadian Mike Malott to come in here in Canada. I think this guy has star potential. And he's getting a top 15 guy in here in Neil Magny. I don't think this is the spot to fade Mike Malott just yet. Maybe in the near future, sure. But against Neil Magny, I just think he's getting Magny at the right time. Magny, 36 years old at this point. Magny just looks fragile in there. He looks like he is, declining very heavily. He's been finished 8 times in his career, 6 times by submission. I think Malott takes him down and subs him in the first. And if it doesn't happen in the first, I think it's in the second. So, yeah, I like that wins in round 1 or round 2. Every single win of Mike Malott has came under 1.5 rounds. This guy has 9 first-round finishes. So, even that, like you said, Weezy, the sub 1 plus 350, I think that's very much on the table here. I think that's how I'm picking him to win at least. So, give me the Mike Malott rounds 1 or rounds 2 being a little bit more safe there, getting 10 minutes. I don't think Magny lasts 10 minutes here. Luke, what are you liking for this fight?
Yeah, so I guess I'll upset the apple cart a little bit here. Not that I feel great about it. I have been a little bit conservative on the show, but I'm going to go Magny round 3 decision plus 450. Listen, I'm in general lockstep with most people that Malott's probably going to go out there and finish him early, but there's just so many things at the end of the day we still do not know about Mike Malott. He's beat a bunch of low-level UFC fighters. This is a big step up in competition. We don't have extended sample of him, winning rounds. We don't know what his cardio is like. We don't know what his durability is like. And Neil Magny is 17-3 in decisions in his entire pro career. Magny has the ability to drag these guys into the quote-unquote Magnyverse at times and, slow fights down and get it greasy within the clinch or whatnot. So, like I said, do I think it's going to happen? No, but all I'm saying is if this fight gets out of the first round, Neil Magny's perceivably doing something right, and he's still alive. And now we're kind of in semi-no man's land with Mike Malott. So don't be shocked if there is a little bit of that lesson here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
man. Could I interest you in Magny sub 3 at plus 10,000 on Bet365?
Doesn't suck.
Plus 10,000. 0.
We're both on it. Brady and I are both on it. I was a sucker. I only got plus 7,500, but Brady was going out there one up and me getting 10,000.
0.1 units to win. Let's 10 go. Units. Plus 10,000. You did the D-Rod, so we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I agree in a sense. Like if this fight does reach that, even like the over 1.5 or the third round, we don't know what Malott's going to look like. And yeah, I think those late Magny props could be kind of interesting there. But I do think Malott probably subs him in the first. We got Raymond with the Magny for the upset there. Neil is kind of done. It looks like a little bit. Mike will sub him. Malott should be the clear side, but Neil's got all the experience. He has a ton of experience. How many UFC fights does he have, Weezy? Like 40?
31 UFC fights since the beginning of 2013. So, I mean, this guy's fighting 3 times a year, every single year. He's one of the most durable, one of the most active. When it's all said and done, this guy's going to fight way more than Jim Miller ever did.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much experience this guy has. 4 out of 6 Korea sub losses for Magny come in the first. So maybe that Weezy's on to something there. Mike Malott finished parlay piece. Malott fight to start round 2. Going to be scary, but could happen there. Magny hasn't been the same since Ian told him to sit there and shut up. That was something else. I mean, he looked a little off in the row fight as well, but this is a big step up for Malott. From Adam Fugit to number 13 is quite the jump. Quite a jump it is. My gosh. Magny by knockout. And Bet365 is offering him a lot inside the distance boost at plus 100.
Wow.
Okay. That's
it's a trap. It's a trap.
Scary, man. You don't like seeing that when you're on the same side as the profit boost. It's usually a bad thing.
That is bad.
You guys remember when they offered Israel Adesanya at like plus 100 or something against Strickland?
I took
do.
it for as much as they would let me bet.
Same.
I felt good about it.
Same. I mean, I think they let me put. I think they only let me put $10 on it, and it's weird. They let everybody else put like 25, but for me,
I put 25. Yeah.
they only put only $10 on it. But yeah, I mean, I did. So that was interesting. And by the way, Drake does have a big bet on Sean Strickland. He has $700K on Sean Strickland, he says. So we'll see how the Drake curse works out tonight. Yeah, that is, some of these promos, man, are scary. Are scary for sure. All right. We have Parlay Pat with the $9.99 donut. Appreciate you, Parlay Pat. And he says, let's make some money. Also sprinkle the Packers money line. Yeah, Packers big dogs, I think plus 9.5 with the spread there. So, or the points there. As Packers fan, yeah, good luck to you, Parlay. Best of luck to the Packers. I probably won't be watching any football today. I'm really invested in this card, but I'll catch some football tomorrow. That's for sure. I'm not even sure who plays today. That's how much I have not looked into any NFL this week. It's been all $297 for me. All right. Move on to the co-main event then. We have Mara Bueno Silva going against Raquel Pennington. We got Bueno Silva currently sitting minus 159. We got Raquel Pennington sitting at plus 139. Uncle Weezy, I believe this is your ass shaving of the week, so I'll kick it to you first. What are you liking here in this fight?
Yeah, I like Myra to win this fight. I think she's going to land the more impactful shots on the feet. I mean, she's the most dangerous grappler in the entire division. I mean, her guard is terrifying. She even started to mix in some offensive wrestling in the Lena Landsberg fight, which is a little bit scary. The fact that she's, easily disposed of Holly Holm in round number 2, and that Raquel Pennington has lost to Holly Holm twice is also another reason to like Myra Bueno Silva. She's younger. She's the optics of what she's going to be doing on the feet, on the cage, on the mat, I think are going to be better. So I've got the Myra Bueno Silva money line here at minus 155 on Bovada.
All right, Silva money line at minus 155. Tyler, what are you liking for this fight here? So
in this one, I think the safe thing for me would be to play the Pennington money line. Plus 142 is what I saw on FanDuel. I'm 50-50 on who actually wins this, but I've already passed on 2 fights, so you might as well go with the underdog, and that's what I'm going to do. Pennington money line plus 142 on FanDuel.
All right, so Uncle Weezy used up both his passes. Tyler used up both his passes. Luke, you have 1 pass left. Are you passing on this co-main event, or is there something that sticks out to you?
Yes, I am going to take my final pass here.
All right, so Luke taking his final pass, and I have 1 pass left as well, but I'm not going to pass on this fight. I'm going to go with Silva inside the distance, sitting at plus 148 on BetRivers Sportsbook. She's dangerous. She has like an 80% finish rate, 70% of those coming by submission. She's super dangerous on the mat. I just feel like at some point she's going to find that finish, whether it's, a choke standing, whether she gets the fight down to the mat and she gets on top. Like Weezy said, she finally went for takedowns, or whether, this fight hits the mat and she's even on bottom. I mean, she's super dangerous once this fight hits the mat. She's been talking all week about how she wants a KO. I don't really see it happening, but I think it's more so sub. But there's not a massive difference between the sub or the inside the distance line. So I'm just going to take the inside the distance for Bueno Silva plus 148. And then Weezy's taking the Silva money line minus 155. Luke using up his last pass. And then we got Tyler on the Pennington side at plus 142. See what we got in the chat there. Let's see. Bueno decision. War Pennington, says Joel. Mara by sub all day long is kind of where I'm leaning as well. Pennington is the side. And then Caleb is doing a bathroom break on the on a title fight. A bathroom break on a title fight there. That's interesting. What do you guys think about flick by sub? I think it's very live. I mean, this guy has like a 90% submission rate. I don't hate it. Dricus KO3. We'll talk about that fight. Fight doesn't go to decision in this co-main event. We'll see. And ban which guy? I haven't really seen anybody that's... Oh, ban this guy, Caleb? I mean, I'm not too excited about this fight, but I know Uncle Wee's really high on Silva, but I'm not going to take a bathroom break during it. So disrespecting Rocky. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And you definitely can't take... Yeah, I mean, Mara Bueno Silva is exciting. She's going to bring the fight to Raquel Pennington there. All right, guys, we have 1 fight left. We have the main event. We got Sean Strickland going against Dricus du Plessis. If you guys have not already, be sure to like the video. We got 450 of you hanging in here on a Saturday. I know football's going on apparently. Just saw that. But all right, so we got Sean Strickland -110, Dricus du Plessis -110. I'll go first because I do have to use my last and final pass just because I don't have a strong take on who wins this fight. My strong take is kind of I think this fight does end inside the distance, whether it's Dricus du Plessis within those first 3 rounds or Sean Strickland kind of taking over, pressuring and maybe breaking Dricus down the stretch 3, 4, 5. But nothing really stuck out from a prop perspective that's not extremely juiced, like the under of the fight doesn't go. So I'm going to take a pass here. I do slightly lean Dricus early on, but the plus money is all dried up. You know, it's -110. I think the best price on Dricus now is like -105. So yeah, I'm just going to pass on this one, but I do lean Dricus ever so slightly early on. Luke, what are you liking in this main event?
To be honest, if I had another pass, I would take it here, but honestly, I don't. So for the sake of the show, I have to give something out. I'm going to go du Plessis KO +240. I don't feel great about it at all. This is just more of a gut feeling. I kind of think like logically favoring Strickland makes sense because he just has more proven cardio, better head strike defense metrics. Like a lot of things point to Strickland making sense, but this is just more of a gambler's gut intuition that I think Dricus is going to meme his way to a title here. So give me Dricus +240.
Yeah, Dricus has a bunch of memes thus far. We'll see if he can do it again. Tyler, what are you liking in this main event?
So I saw a prop that kind of stands out to me on Betway, and it's Strickland to land the most significant strikes at +120. It's a bit obscure, but I think win or lose, he still lands more significant strikes. So I'll take that.
All right, yeah, I like that as well. Especially if the fight goes late, I like it a lot. Strickland,
sure.
most significant strikes for Tyler. And then Uncle Wheezy, what are you liking for this main event?
Yeah, if I had another pass, I would definitely pass on this fight. This is one where I didn't even want to make a pick. You know, I could just as easily see Dricus winning this early as I could Sean winning it late. I don't know which fighter is going to get the other fighter on the back foot, but I think that's key. You know, I worry that I think that, you know, Dricus has a big power differential and Strickland has a big conditioning differential here. And the unrelenting pressure of Sean Strickland, I want to see how Dricus deals with that. But, you know, either way, I feel like somebody's got to get finished in this fight. Dricus du Plessis, 22 professional fights. This guy's never seen a 4th round, and he's been scheduled for 5 rounds, I think 6 or 7 different times in his professional career as he was fighting for the belt in KSW at a couple classics versus Roberto Soldic over there at 170 pounds. But I do like this fight to finish inside the distance, whether it's Strickland early or late or Dricus in the first 3 rounds. I see somebody getting their head punched off here. But then I was a little bit worried because I saw that DraftKings is boosting fight ends by KO to +100.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I like this fight to end by KO. Why are they trying to? Because they're not trying to give me free money. Yeah. I promise you they're not trying to give me that. So that really has me worried. But I'm still thinking that this fight does end inside the distance, -265, I believe, on Bovada or something like that. Or no, it's Bet Online, actually. Bet Online, -265.
All right, Strickland fight doesn't go, -265. Yeah, the DraftKings did boost the fight to end by knockout at +100. I like it. I like it. So that only means that Dricus is either going to win by sub or Strickland might win a decision. That's all that means there. All right, so we'll see what you guys are saying in the chat, and then we'll give our best bet there. We got JR saying Strickland round 5. Yeah, I think Strickland 3, 4, 5 are on the table there. Appreciate you, Matt, for stopping by. Strickland is getting beat easy. Camden saying thoughts on Strickland 4-5 decision +220, or would you prefer the value on Strickland KO 3-4-5? I would like the KO 3-4-5 at 650.
It pays more.
It pays more. It pays a decent amount more. I like that.
I have a math degree, so you can count on me that it actually does pay more.
There you go. Shout out to Uncle Wheezy with that math degree. Dricus by knockout there. Yeah, I think it's be a good card, man. I would stay up for it if I were you. Dricus round 2, 1 unit. I'm kind of leaning round 2 as well, but we'll see. All right. So what we'll do now is we'll do a very quick recap of all these bets, and then we'll give our. Why is this all messed up? There we go. All right. So we'll do a very quick recap of the bets, make sure everything's right, and then we'll give our best bet of the card. So say, for example, Wheezy's best bet is Mike Malott submission round 1 at plus 350. If he hits this bet and it's his best bet, it's going to double. So instead of getting plus 3.5 units, he'll get plus 7 units. Wheezy, is my math correct on that?
Yes, it is. It is. It absolutely is. And
Perfect.
that happens to be my best bet, Brady.
Don't give it away just yet. We're going to build it up a little bit. Nobody heard that. Okay, so we'll start with myself. Jimmy Flick inside the distance, plus 295. The catch a cheating point deduction, plus 1600. Lioness KO 1, 275. Robertson sub 2-3, plus 330. City Taris ends KO, minus 125. Passing on Jourdain fight. Katona round 3 decision, minus 108. The fight ends in split decision for the Evloev fight at plus 350. We'll go Curtis KO 2-3, plus 600. Malott round 1 or rounds 2, minus 120. Silva wins inside the distance, plus 148, and then passing on the main event. So for me, it's between two. I like that Curtis KO 2-3 plus 600, but I want to start the year out with a bang. I want to get 32 units. My best bet is Priscilla Catchaware to go out there and cheat and cash this point deduction. The ref takes Priscilla, takes her to the middle of the cage, and takes a point from her, and we all celebrate. Yeah, Weezy?
No, just one point. Just 1 point, showing all the judges.
Yes, plus 1,600, looking to make 32 units there. All right,
if
Weezy,
you guys hit that, I'm quitting the show. I'm just saying, I'm not coming on. I'm done. Put a fork in me.
Lou Betcha hit the point deduction for like the Ed Herman. Who was Ed Herman? His last fight, Ed Herman versus Zach Cummings.
Yeah,
it was a terrible fight. There was like 2 point deductions in that one. So Lou Betcha hit a point deduction last year. So Weezy, you're taking Gordon under 1.5, minus 116. The point deduction as well, plus 1,600. Patterson money line 120. Passing on the Robertson fight. City Taris over 1.5, minus 115. Passing on the Jourdain fight. Katona round 3 decision, minus 108. Arnold Allen finish only, minus 135. Curtis KO 2-3, 600. Malott round 1 sub, plus 350. Silva money line, minus 155. Strickland fight doesn't go to decision, minus 265. Weezy, is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet for the card?
Yes, it is. It's the Mike Malott sub 1 at plus 350. I just think it's his best path here, and to get a minus. This guy's that money line's getting towards minus 400 now on Malott. So yeah, I'll take that one.
Yep, there we go. So to win 7 units there, I like it. I think that's how he wins. And it always seems like every time I give an example of the best bet, it seems like I always pick the right one. Maybe it's a sign. So we'll see. All right, Tyler, you're taking the Gordon Flick under 1.5 rounds, minus 116. Jasmine KO / TKO / DQ plus 450. Patterson sub plus 360. Robertson KO plus 950. City inside the distance 130. Passing on the Jourdain and Katona fights. Arnold Allen money line plus 165. Curtis KO 2 plus 1,000. Malott under 2.5, minus 185. Pennington money line plus 142, and then Strickland most significant strikes in the Duplessis fight plus 120. Is all that correct? And if so, what is your favorite bet of the card? Your best bet?
Yep. Yeah, well, that looks good. I think I'm going to go with the Robertson KO as my best bet, because if that hits, that's sick. And if not, well, I'm screwed anyway. So,
all right. So let me do some math here. So Robertson KO to win 19 units. 19. Weezy, is that right?
That is correct, sir. Yes.
There we go. Weezy's incredible at math. Always got to get back to him. So we'll go Luke. We got a Flick money line plus 175. Jasmine round 3 decision minus 155. Patterson round 2 or round 3 plus 405. Robertson inside the distance plus 100. Passing on the City fight. Woodson plus 3.5 point spread minus 105. Katona round 3 decision minus 108. We got Evloev decision minus 110. Curtis fight goes the distance. What was the odds on that?
Minus 130, I think.
Minus 130, yeah.
No, I think you got minus 128 on that, Luke. Somebody was hanging a 128.
Gotcha.
I'll take the 2 cents.
There you go. It all adds up in the end, I'd say. So Curtis fight goes minus 128, and then the Magny round 3 decision plus 450. Passing on the Silva fight, and then Dricus KO plus 240. Luke, is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet for the card?
Man, yes, it is correct, and it pains me to say it, but I'm going to go with my best bet, Jimmy the Brick Flick, plus 175. I think it's one of the dumber lines on the entire card. We're either going to be, celebrating or crying in less than 45 minutes. So we'll see. God bless Jimmy the Brick, inshallah.
There we go. We'll see if that's an X. Shout to Malcolm X Gordon, or we'll see if you're bricked up after hitting that. Shout to Jimmy Flick. So that fight is going to be happening in about 45 minutes, I believe. So I cannot wait for that one. But we're going to kick it around. We got Wheezy. Thanks for coming on. Luke, thanks for coming on. And Tyler, thanks for coming on. Wheezy, let the people know where they can find you. Are you going to be on the Pub Sports Radio live stream today?
Yeah, I will. I'll be on and off, but yeah, definitely going to be watching these fights live, watching all these bets that I have going this week. So good luck to everybody on the fights. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Wheezy. I've got a Patreon package with access to really good UFC statistics and analytics and benchmarks. And yeah, if you support me at Pub Sports Radio on my channel, on my Patreon, at the MMA Engine YouTube channel, it's the best way to support my work. I appreciate all you guys for watching, supporting, being in the chat. Let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 297.
Heck yeah, go check out Wheezy. Wheezy, thanks for coming on. Enjoy the fights today. We got Luke. Luke, welcome back. It's been a while since we did a show together, but this was fun. Best of luck to you with Jimmy Flick. We'll see if it works out. But yeah, let the people know where they can find you, Luke.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, if this one doesn't come through, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to get a hold of me in the next couple weeks or whatever. love doing a show with you boys again, and meeting Homeboy 138 over here. It should be fun over the course of the year. But yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter, SWR_betting, and then I do put up all my bets and content over on Brett Apley's site, dailyfanmma.com. You can also check out my vanity URL to get to my homepage there at sparringwithreality.com.
Yeah, there we go. Check out Luke. Does incredible work as well. Very sharp guy. And last but not least, we got Tyler. Tyler, thanks for coming on. Your debut on the channel. Let the people know where they can find you.
Thanks for having me, Brady. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I promise I'm not always an amateur. No muting myself in most things. So, blunders there. But we are great. 138 MMA. You can find me everywhere, except for on Instagram. There's an _. Otherwise, at 138 MMA everywhere. You can get one of my sweet shirts. I got one right here. You can find a link to that on Twitter or in the description of my videos. And also, I'm giving away a free copy of World of Mixed Martial Arts 5 right now. If you buy a t-shirt, the first one to buy one, because we got one spot left. You pick a lightweight, any lightweight in the world, you get entered in a tournament. The winner gets a free copy of the game. I know I plugged a bunch of stuff. I'm at 138 MMA everywhere. Thank you.
There you go. Thanks for coming on. It does mean a ton. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next week with more Best Bet, 2 hours prior to the prelims. I know the panel, but not off the top of my head, but I think it's going to be a good one. Shout out to these guys for coming on, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. See you later.